For decades, the Middle East has been defined by a shadow war between two giants, Iran and Saudi Arabia. But today, the map is being redrawn, alliances are shifting, and the impossible is becoming reality. From the high-tech hubs of Saudi Arabia to the historical streets of Tehran, a new geopolitical era is dawning. With global powers like China stepping in as mediators, the regional rivalry that once shook the world is entering a new chapter. This is the story of shifting alliances and the forces redrawing the Middle East map. The roots of this friction trace back to 1979, a year that changed the region forever. As Iran embraced a new revolutionary path, Saudi Arabia reinforced its role as the guardian of Islamic tradition. What followed was a high-stakes game of influence, a geopolitical chessboard spanning across borders. For years, this rivalry played out in proxy conflicts, from the mountains of Yemen to the streets of Syria. The cost of these wars was measured in more than just dollars. It left a legacy of scarred cityscapes and humanitarian crises. But the tide began to turn as both nations realized that economic survival required regional stability. Today, diplomacy is replacing drones. Reopened embassies signify a thaw in the long-standing freeze. Trade ships are once again moving freely, and energy markets are adjusting to a more integrated Middle East. The vision of a new Middle East is emerging, one focused on futuristic cities and shared prosperity. As the world watches, the redrawing of this map will determine the global order for generations to come. For decades, the Middle East was defined by a deep-seated rivalry between Saudi Arabia and Iran. But today, the geopolitical landscape is shifting. Saudi Arabia is racing toward economic diversification, while Iran navigates its own industrial and economic challenges. Both now see regional stability as a necessity. The old rules of perpetual conflict are being rewritten. Glowing lines across a regional map illustrate the tension that once seemed impossible to resolve. In a move that caught the world off guard, Beijing stepped in as a mediator. This pivot highlights China's growing influence on the global stage. This wasn't just diplomacy, it was a strategic masterstroke. China facilitated a historic handshake in March 2023, bridging a gap many thought permanent. With vast energy interests in the Gulf, Beijing is now a key diplomatic architect, ensuring the flow of trade through secure routes. This rapprochement marks a definitive shift toward a multipolar Middle East, where power is no longer concentrated in a single direction. As traditional influences evolve, the era of relying on a single superpower is fading. Global landmarks signify a new web of partnerships. Regional powers are now pursuing multiple global alliances simultaneously, balancing ties between Washington, Beijing, New Delhi, and Brussels. Military presence is being overshadowed by a complex web of diplomatic and economic connections. The focus has shifted to regional autonomy. The strategic shift of the decade is clear: a new, complex order where local interests dictate the game and diplomacy is the ultimate currency. The restoration of ties between Saudi Arabia and Iran is more than a truce. It is the cornerstone of a transformative era for the Middle East. For decades, the Middle East has been a theater of complex rivalries and shifting powers, defined by its strategic importance. Today, a delicate balance of diplomacy is being tested under the weight of new strategic and economic realities. Behind closed doors, negotiators navigate a landscape where old rivals become partners, and trust is a carefully managed commodity. Yet beneath the surface of formal handshakes lies a persistent tension, echoing through the cold, modern architecture of power. Technological eyes now watch every border, where digital data points track the heartbeat of regional security in real time. In the vast maritime corridors, the world's energy lifeline remains under constant, silent surveillance by regional naval forces. A single miscalculation can trigger a chain reaction, jeopardizing years of painstaking diplomatic progress and regional stability. Sprawling energy infrastructures glow against the twilight, representing both immense wealth and the profound vulnerability of the global economy. Ancient ruins stand as silent witnesses to the rise and fall of civilizations that once ruled these desert sands. Today, that history is juxtaposed with the stark reality of modern missile silos and strategic defense installations. Strategic choke points like the Strait of Hormuz remain the most contested pieces on the global geopolitical chessboard. As the sun sets on traditional methods of influence, a new kind of competition is beginning to emerge across the region. From space, the region transforms into a network of glowing nodes, connected by invisible threads of investment and data. The battleground has shifted to digital markets and stock exchanges, where economic diversification is the new currency of power. Visionary cities are rising from the desert, signaling a transition from oil dependency to a future of technological mastery. Innovation is the modern frontier, as nations invest billions into artificial intelligence, robotics, and clean energy labs. Global shipping hubs serve as the new crossroads of the world, bridging the trade gap between Europe, Asia, and Africa. Shifting alliances are now mapped in silicon and code, creating a web of unprecedented global integration and cooperation. We are witnessing the dawn of a new chapter where the pursuit of regional stability outweighs the historical ghosts of the past. As light breaks over the port city, the region looks toward a future defined by economic collaboration rather than military conflict. The treaties of tomorrow are being written with a focus on long-term prosperity and the mutual survival of all nations. This strategic adaptation ensures that the Middle East remains at the vibrant heart of the global geopolitical narrative. While the physical geography remains unchanged, the internal structures of power and alliance have been fundamentally rewritten. In this new map of the Middle East, the only constant is the relentless pursuit of technological and strategic progress.